All right, let's go ahead and get started on our speaking notes this morning. As you know, there we go. As you know that we have 4 realms to the WIDA test: speaking, listening, reading, and writing, and we're going to focus on the speaking today. The speaking, like the listening, is 15% of your score, but it's also our lowest of the realms. In fact, I can think of 2 or 3 kids last year that got a 4.8, 4.9 that had a low speaking score, and that cost them the ability to exit EL. So it's really important that we get our speaking on point. It is going to be the last one that we take. It's going to be usually at the very end of January or at the very beginning of February that we take the speaking test. So if you're new to speaking, or if you need a reminder, we do not do the speaking in the cafeteria. We don't do it in the classroom. We do the speaking in the IMC. Now, virtual students, I'm not sure how this is going to look like yet. I have an EL meeting later this week, and hopefully that will clarify some things, bring clarity to it. But historically, we have done it in the IMC. You will listen to a computer, and then you will respond. You want to use the sort of examples that the computer gives. You'll click a button, and it will start counting down time. And depending on what your level is, you're going to have roughly about 30 seconds to 55 seconds to answer each question. So in other words, what are they going to ask? Level 1 questions are going to be like naming, telling, identifying. Really, this is the case for all the different WIDA tests. Identify is always a level 1. Describing is a level 2. Giving examples and compare and contrast is level 3. Predicting and explaining something is level 4. And level 5 is creating something, hypothesizing, and also predicting. They grade this by, 1, making sure that, again, they're going to give a model, and they want your language to be comparable or even beyond the language in the model. So if the model is using all this advanced language, you need to use that same language. The second thing is clear, automatic, and fluent delivery. You don't want to be like a robot. You also don't want to stutter. You will be able to write down what you're going to say, but you don't want to read and sound like this. Okay? Make sure you just sound like a normal human being. Not too quiet, but not too loud either, just somewhere in between. And then precise and appropriate word choice. Use words that make sense, and use words that are upper level. If they're talking about talking, say converse. If you're talking about how something is hard, use the word difficult or challenging. Don't use those level 1 and level 2 words to describe something. So this is what you need to do. Repeat the question in your answer. What is your name? My name is. Talk clearly. Talk confidently. Give examples. They actually want you to use as much time as possible. So if you have 30 seconds and the question is, what did you do this weekend? And you said, this weekend I played with my friends. Well, great. That was a 3-second answer, and you still have 27 seconds remaining. So make sure you have plenty of detail when you're talking. Use the picture, and again, use that appropriate academic language. Take your time, use the time, and most importantly, I would say write down what you're going to say before you get started, at least on the more difficult ones. All right, so that is it. On the next slide, you're going to look at 2 questions. You're going to choose which 2, or there are 5 questions, and you're going to choose 2 to answer. You are going to need to make 2 videos on Flipgrid. If you make 1, great, you'll get some credit, but you will not get all credit. So you need to use kind of this guide right here. Make sure you have your structure, you're speaking clearly and confidently. Try to last at least 20 seconds, and we'll see what you come up with.